Hello guys, welcome to this video. These days I've been thinking about my favorite 3 books. Have you ever read a good one? In this video I'm going to recommend you my favorite 3 books of all time. So let's get started. The third one in my list is I'll Be the Matriarch in This Life, written by Kim Roa. This is a Korean web novel that combines the fantasy and romance genre, and follows the story of a young girl who is reborn in a fantasy world as the daughter of a noble family. With the knowledge of her past life, she attempts to change her destiny and become a powerful figure in her new life.
So, what is it about? The story is about a family considered the richest in the entire empire, the Great Lombardy family. After the death of their patriarch, the fate of the family and Florentia, the daughter of a Lombard and a peasant, are ruined at the hands of her useless and cruel cousins. One day, after getting drunk, she is hit by a carriage and dies. But when she is reincarnated as her 7-year-old self, she begins to work to protect the family's honor, gain her grandpa Lulak's favor, and prevent her own father's death. In that life, there is only one way to win: to become the head of her powerful family. The main character is Florentia Lombardi, a girl who dies in a traffic accident in Korea and is reincarnated in another world. But even there, she has a bad life and goes back in time. This character represents the empowered figure of women, as she will try to be the matriarch of her family, an unusual position in a world where men lead. The main male character is first Brivachu Durelli, the second prince of the empire. He was treated with contempt for being the illegitimate son of the emperor and a maid. Since childhood, he was slowly poisoned by order of the empress. In the first timeline, when first became the crown prince and the emperor fell ill, he immediately took action to seek revenge against all those who have harmed in the past. He even attacked the Lombardi family for tax evasion and had them executed. But in the current line, it was thanks to Florentia that first began to feel hopeful again. He didn't hesitate to follow her instructions on taking the medicine to cure the poisoning. Since then, Ferris began always looking forward to seeing her again.
How did I know about it? Okay, I discovered this book in 2020 because I was reading the manga, and I just wanted to know what was going to happen next, and I couldn't wait for it. And why did I read it? Because the romance and fantasy genre are my favorite, especially when it has topics like reincarnation and regression. But what caught my attention the most in this book was the matriarchy, like in which the female figure stands out as a leader in a world where the rules are different, and how Florentia takes revenge on all those who mistreat her. So it's like very interesting the way this happened. The second book in my list is Delirium. Delirium is a book written by the Colombian author Restrepo, published in 2004, and is a blend of mystery, romance, and social critique that explores topics such as madness, violence, and passion. What is it about? Okay, Delirium is a work that has violence and drug trafficking as its main figure. In this story, the situation in Colombia in the 80s is criticized, and it begins with Aguilar, a man who returns from an outing with his children and finds his wife in a sort of delirious state. Then he begins to investigate the cause of her illness, and throughout the story, secrets about his wife's life are revealed.
It narrates 4 stories that are related to each other. The first one is the romantic relationship of Aguilar, left with man known for his unconditional love towards his wife Agustina, who is a few years younger and belongs to an aristocratic family, the Londoño family. Midas McAllister, a humble man who becomes wealthy by associating with his friends from the upper-class communities connected to Pablo Escobar. Agustina's relationship with her family, including the special and meaningful appreciation she felt for her brother Richie Bichito, who was abused both physically and psychologically by their father. And finally, the life of Agustina's grandfather Portulinus, a German musician who immigrated to Colombia. whose madness seems to have affected or influenced other family members.
Finally, my first favorite book, Villains Are Destined to Die by Won Gil. This is a Korean web novel that has gained significant popularity these days and is perfect for those fans of isekai and otome genre, and I am one of them. So I love it. In this case, the genre is rough, this means like the novel combines fantasy and romance genre. The protagonist strives to unravel the mysteries of her new reality and secure a perfect and brighter future. And it explores themes such as reincarnation, self-discovery, and destiny. So it's very interesting.
What is it about? Okay, this web novel follows the story of a Korean woman who wakes up one day to discover she has reincarnated into the body of the villainess from a dating simulation game she used to play. She is the one and only stepdaughter of the Eckhart Duke family. In the game, the villainess, also known as Penelope Eckhart, always meets a tragic ending, the death. So, in that body, she resolved to do everything in her power to avoid these fates and find a path to a better life. The game has a system about winning the hearts of male characters, and there is a percentage for that. So she has to deal with them to change the course of the story and save her life. Every little thing that she says or does is very important to keep alive. Besides, the female lead must be paired with one of the main male characters from the heroine's harem before the real daughter of the Duke family appears. We could relate the theme of this story to the Middle Ages because it's a web novel about royal families. The structure of the society is similar as well. There are kings, queens, princes, dukes, and so on. The most interesting thing about this book is that the female lead belongs to our current era. She lives in Seoul, Korea, and her real body is lying in a hospital bed in a coma. Her life there is very similar to Penelope's life. Her father and two brothers don't love her, and she is mistreated by them.
The main characters are Penelope Eckhart, who is the female lead. In the game, she is a villainess and now has to survive trying to win the male characters' hearts. The main male character is Callisto Regulus. He is the crown prince, he's adventurous, brave, and a little bit crazy. And he's my favorite male character. In the first appearance of the book, there was a celebration in the palace due to the step-brother's birthday, and he got into dragging a dead man as a present for the prince. Besides, he almost killed Penelope the first time they met because of a misunderstanding. And he's so funny, crazy, and charming at the same time. So I love this character. The other male character is Eclipse. He's a loyal slave knight who obsesses with Penelope because she was the only one who offered to help him. Winter Verdandi, he's a wizard, and he's kind and a quiet person, and his character is very important to the story's plot, but if I said more, it would be a spoiler. Yvonne Eckhart, she is the heroine in the normal modes game, and the real daughter of Eckhart's family, but actually this is not true. She also pretends to be an innocent and kind person. Derek Eckhart, he's Penelope's older brother, and he's so cold and mean. I hate this character because he always disapproves of Penelope and mistreats her, but at the same time he has like a sick sister's complex, so he's crazy. Finally, Reynold Eckhart, he is the second son of Eckhart's family. He is shy, arrogant, and immature. At the beginning of the story, I hated this character, but he begins to change for the better, so I think he's good. What I like most about this story is that at the beginning, the author makes the reader think that the world the female lead is just a game. But spoiler alert, throughout the story you discover that Penelope's original world is the one in the game. And everything was false because the story in which Yvonne wins the hearts of the male characters is fake, is false. Actually, she is a witch, who stole the identity of the real daughter of the Eckhart family. And the hidden ending of the game is that the kingdom became a chaos because of her. So, for that reason, Winter sacrifices himself to cast a spell in which story changes again and again, and Penelope is the key for that. But the story repeats itself so many times that her soul breaks, literally breaks, and a fragment of her soul reincarnates into the body of a woman, of a Korean woman, and we know what follows the story. But actually, this is like very interesting because at the beginning you can imagine that. So I love this story because of that. So how did I know about it? I read this book because at first I was reading the manhwa. Manhwa is a name to refers the Korean comics, and during that time it was ongoing. I was desperate to know what was going to happen, so I started to look up, and I found out that it also had a web novel. And why did I read it? Because I said before, I love this genre, Rofa, and I love reincarnation and regression topics. Besides, in this story, it's not like the usual shining main character. She's powerful, she's the villainess, she's so cool and clever at the same time. And she's a little bit selfish, but in a good way. And so I love this book and I recommend it so much. Okay guys, this is the end of the video, my top 3 favorite books of all time. I'll be the matriarch in this life, Delirium by Restrepo, and Villains Are Destined to Die by Won Gil. I hope you enjoyed this video and take a look up some of the books. See you guys in the next video.